This video contains VTOS Start-up Information for students starting on VTOS in Sallynoggin College of Further Education. This video contains information about weekly VTOS payments, other allowances and benefits, childcare, meal and travel allowances, record of your payments, signing in and attendance, course and material costs, work experience and work, finishing or continuing on VTOS at the end of the year, SUSI applications and contact information.
Hello, my name is Karen Hurley and I'm the VTOS Coordinator in Sallynoggin College of Further Education. This document is called the Vocational Training Opportunity Scheme, otherwise known as VTOS, Start-up Information for September 2022. This video will speak through the entire document, and if you prefer to listen to the information rather than read it, then this video is perfect for you. If you are looking to find the section that is relevant for your query, you can always fast forward the video to all of the headers. So there are lots of headers as I go through, and you can speed through the video to find the section that you're looking for. So you are very welcome to Sallynoggin College of Further Education, also known as SCFE. My name is Karen Hurley and I'm the VTOS Coordinator in Sallynoggin College. This information document should answer most of your VTOS queries, but please feel free to ask about any other queries you may have or email me at karenhurley@scfe.ie. SCFE is one of many colleges in the Dublin and Dundee Education and Training Board, also known as the DDLETB. As VTOS Coordinator, I pass information between the DDLETB and VTOS students and between VTOS students and the DDLETB. So the biggest question that most people have when they join VTOS is about the weekly VTOS payments or training allowances. So all payments made to you by the DDLETB will be paid to the bank account you gave us the details for in your blue VTOS application form. If you change your bank, please send your new details to me and I will forward them to head office for updating. This change will take at least a week, so make sure to let us know in plenty of time. Weekly allowances are paid differently depending on the payment you are on while joining VTOS. Please locate your current social welfare payment and read that section only, either the green, orange or blue section only. So the first section here is the green section, and this information is only for those on one parent family payment, job seekers transition payment, disability allowance, illness benefit, invalidity pension, dependent or pension payments. If you are in receipt of any of the above payments, you will continue to receive your payments in the usual manner from the Department of Social Protection, also known as the DSP office. There will be no change to how these payments are made, and they will continue to be paid in the usual way to the same bank account that they are currently paid to. Please remember to inform social welfare about any change of circumstance while on VTOS. Recipients of disability allowance, illness benefit and invalidity pension payments are required to write to their relevant departments within the Department of Social Protection to request permission to attend college. I will be doing this for you, so be aware that the relevant office will be in touch to discuss your course and to get possible further information from you. So, the second group of people who have questions maybe about payments are international protection applicants, sometimes known as asylum applicants. You will continue to receive your daily expense allowance as usual in the normal way. Your permission to access the labour market letter or residence permit should be in date for the duration of the course. If your circumstances change and your payments change from a daily expense allowance to another social welfare payment at any point, such as job seekers, Please submit any relevant documentation and we can arrange possible transfer of payment to VTOS where relevant. So the third group, and this is the most complex information to pass, so if there are any further questions after this, please email me. So this information is only for those who are on a job seeker's benefit payment or a job seeker's allowance payment when joining VTOS. So for everybody else, don't worry about this information because it's very complex and it is only for people on these two payments. So only job seekers benefit and job seekers allowance payments are taken over by the DDL-ETB. These payments are then called VTOS training allowances. Job seekers transitional payments can be taken over by the DDL-ETB if social welfare asks us to do so by official stamped letter, but normally job seekers transitional payments continue to be paid by social welfare. Normally, the DDL-ETB pay the exact same amount as you are paid by social welfare, although those under 26 years of age will be moved onto the full job seekers payment. If you are on a means-tested payment, this payment normally remains the same while on VTOS and receiving payments from the DDL-ETB. This year, for the first time, a new payments system has been implemented nationally by the government. This new system is run on a week in arrears system. As a college, we have no way to change this process. Most VTOS students for payment purposes officially start their courses on the 12th of September, although each course has different induction and timetable start dates. So the 12th of September serves as a start date for payments. So the week in arrears payment schedule works like this. So for most of you, week 1 is the 12th to the 16th of September, and the payment for this week will be made on Friday the 23rd of September, and this will be 1 week's payment paid at the end of week 2. So week 2, the 19th to the 23rd of September, payment for this week will be made on Friday the 30th of October, and again this is 1 week's payment. So this week in arrears system will be in place for the year, and when you finish at the end of the college year, you will receive a double week's pay. If you receive a late VTOS offer, your official start date will be a week later, and your first payment will be at the end of your second week. Your VTOS start dates and payment dates will be clearly explained to you in a letter posted to you with your F103 form. So it's very important to check that social welfare have terminated your job seekers payment when you have started. The F103 forms that you had completed by social welfare have informed them of your course start dates, and they should have terminated your job seekers payments by the start date of your course. Please check your bank accounts carefully after the 12th of September or after your course start date if you started on VTOS later. If you discover that social welfare have not terminated your job seekers payment, you will need to let them know. This is a normal process, so there is no need to panic or worry, just keep an eye on it. You will need to pay back any excess payments, so do check carefully. And as I said, this is the first year that we are working with this new week in arrears system, so there may be issues around social welfare not taking you off. This is the first year we're working with F103 forms, so just keep an eye on those payments and you can let social welfare know and let me know if any errors have happened and I can write a letter to support you. If you believe that social welfare owe you for a number of days payment, please check directly with them. So continuing on, this information here is blue and it's still for job seekers recipients. So for change of circumstances for those previously on job seekers payments, if your circumstances change and you believe that you should be paid more or less while on VTOS, you will need to have a new official assessment made by your local social welfare office. This assessment will need to be on headed paper and stamped by your local welfare office. I will need to send this to head office in the DDL-ETB and it may take a week or two for the change to take effect. You will have all back payments due to you paid if your assessment clearly states the date you are eligible for any greater payment. Okay, so the next section is about other allowances and benefits. So you bring all existing allowances with you when you join VTOS. For rent allowance or HAP payments, for those on rent allowance or HAP payments, these continue to be paid in the usual manner by the relevant authority. We don't take them over on VTOS payments. The National Fuel Scheme. So this information is really just for people who have come off a job seekers payment, or where we have turned your job seekers payment into a VTOS training allowance. So for those in receipt of National Fuel Scheme payments, these will be taken over by the DDLETB and will run for their normal duration as determined by the Department of Social Protection, or the DSP. Your eligibility will have been confirmed by the DSP on the F103 form. These payments are often start a week later on VTOS than with social welfare recipients, but you will then get a double payment if that happens. If you think that these payments should have started and you haven't received them yet, you can send me an email and I can check your F103 form. It is not normally possible to apply for fuel allowance while on VTOS. So again, you can bring your allowances with you, but applying for it while on VTOS is normally not possible. So for medical cards, to apply for or to renew a medical card, you will need a letter from the VTOS coordinator confirming that you were on VTOS and attending college. Please give me plenty of advance notice if you need a letter. Childcare. As a VTOS student, you are eligible for childcare support through the National Childcare Scheme. You should have received a sheet of paper explaining the National Childcare Scheme with your VTOS application pack. Now, the next section here is quite complex and it talks about the meal and travel allowances. So the meal and travel allowances do not cover your expenses. They are merely a contribution towards your expenses. The meal allowance is €4 maximum per week, which works out at 80 cents per day in the college. The travel rates are based on the distance you live from the college, and the amount payable is a rate per week in total. So this is your maximum weekly rate based on the distance that you live. So the distances are still counted in miles. I've translated them here into kilometres, and they work out as there is no travel allowance if you live less than 3 miles from the college. So the travel allowances start for 3 to 5 miles distance from the college, or 4.8 to 8 kilometres. The weekly maximum allowance is €4.60. For 5 to 10 miles from the college, or 8 to 16 kilometres, the maximum weekly rate is €11.90. For 10 to 20 miles from the college, or 16 to 32 kilometres from the college, the maximum weekly rate is €17.60. For 20 to 30 miles from the college, or 32 to 48.3 kilometres, the maximum weekly rate is €21.60. For 30 to 40 miles from the college, or 48.3 to 64.4 kilometres, the maximum weekly rate is €27.70. If you live over 40 miles from the college, or over 64.4 kilometres, the maximum weekly rate is €32.60. So distances are calculated using the AA online route planner. If you want to do this yourself, you can then translate the distance from kilometres to miles on Google to put yourself into the correct category here. I've done these translations into kilometres to give you an idea. The travel allowance is a maximum weekly allowance based on the distance you live from the college. Meal and travel allowances are based on 5 days. The weekly payment is divided by 5 and multiplied by the number of days you were in the college building or on class trips or official college work experience. They are paid subject to attendance, which is monitored digitally by your teachers. Your teachers mark your attendance digitally on VSware, and your attendance is based on this record. If a teacher has not marked attendance for a day, you are paid allowances for that day anyway, whether you have attended or not. Meal and travel allowances are paid weekly on a week in arrears basis. So what that means is, with the week in arrears schedule, your expenses for week 1, which is the 12th to the 16th of September, payment for meals and travel will be made on Friday the 23rd of September. Only 2 days will be paid as inductions were timetabled over 2 days. For the week 2, which is the 19th to the 23rd of September, payment for meals and travel will be made on Friday the 30th of October. This week, in arrears system will be in place for the year. Keep in mind that the payment for the week before holiday periods will be paid during the holiday, and the meal and travel allowances for the first week back in college will then be paid the following week. So a record of your payments, this is very important. The new national payments system in place this year is called PeopleXD. When you are set up by head office to receive payments, you will receive an email from Core HR asking you to set up a PeopleXD account. You will need to use the same email that you gave us when applying for VTOS. Neither I nor head office will have access to your payslips, so it is important to do this when emailed. If you need help, I can organise to meet you in the college as a group. Your online account for payslips will be open for about 6 months after your course is finished, so it will be important to print off payslips at the end of your course or shortly afterwards. So signing in, if anybody has been on VTOS a number of years ago, there used to be a sign-in book. So signing in is now done differently. You will be signed into your classes by your teacher. We will be using a system called VSware, which is a digital attendance system. I will be able to check your attendance at classes in college. Your meal and travel allowances are paid based on your attendance. A record of your attendance is sent through to head office on Friday mornings at 11 a.m, so no changes can be made to your attendance record after that time. So attendance, this is also very important. Payments on VTOS are subject to continued participation on your course. Please refer to the attendance policy in the student guide, which will be issued to you at induction. This is a very important policy to read and understand. It is very important to inform us of any reason why you may be unable to attend college. If you are absent for a week or more due to health reasons, please keep me informed by email. This is important so that I don't think that you have left your course. Your weekly payments will continue as normal, but meals and travel won't be paid for any period that you are not in the college. Please submit any sick notes or doctor's letters to the office where they will be put on your file. Please note that if you are not attending regularly and have not informed us about your absences, you may lose your VTOS place. It is important to keep in touch. So, course and material costs. So the VTOS scheme covers the main essential costs associated with your course. There are no course fees, and essential books, uniforms, class trips and materials will be provided. Non-essential items are not covered by the scheme. All items provided are on loan and should be returned to the college at the end of your course, or if you decide to leave early. Uniforms and personal items will not need to be returned. It is very important that you do not purchase or pay for any items that are deemed essential, as the college is unable to make refunds. Any queries about books and materials should be directed first through your course coordinator, who will then liaise with me. All coordinators have been informed of all VTOS students on their course and should have placed orders for necessary items. These orders need to go through a process that takes some time, so you may need some patience. It can take a number of weeks to get orders in. So work experience and work is a question I get very often. It is permitted to work for a few hours a week while on VTOS, provided that work does not affect your attendance in any way. Work that affects a participant's attendance in any way will result in a termination of all VTOS payments. So an example is, if you're missing Mondays because you're very tired from working on Sundays, that would be work that affects your attendance. Please note that any pay received for work will affect any secondary allowances you have, such as rent allowance or your medical card. Research this well before accepting any pay for work experience or undertaking any work. You are permitted to work on VTOS over the summer if you're assigned up to stay on VTOS for 2 years. So, finishing on VTOS at the end of the year. This information may not be relevant now, but people do start to panic after Christmas. If you are finishing your studies after 1 or 2 years on VTOS, I will issue you with a letter a few weeks before we finish up to enable you to sign on with the DSP again if you wish. Progressing to a second year on VTOS. If this is your first year on a VTOS payment and you intend to continue on to a second year in Sallynoggin College, application forms for progression to second year will issue in late March or early April next year. Once this form has been completed and you have been offered a place on a further course in Sallynoggin College and accepted the place by paying the €40 course acceptance fee, your payments continue over the summer until the start of the new course. Everybody on VTOS can apply for up to 2 years of VTOS funding. If this is your second year on VTOS, you will need to look at alternative methods of funding any future study well before the end of the year. Many people progress to back to education allowance payments if they are progressing up a level in their studies. Others are successful in getting a SUSI grant. So it is possible to transfer your VTOS place to another college. If you are on your first year of VTOS payments, you can also transfer your VTOS place to another college in the DDL-ETB for a second year. Organise this early and inform the VTOS coordinators in both colleges to ensure the continuation of payments over the summer. Some colleges may require you to progress up a level. It is not normally possible to transfer your place to another ETB, but you can still apply for a VTOS place in another college if you apply early. In this situation, you will need to come off payments with the DDL-ETB at the end of the year and sign on so that you can then join VTOS with the other ETB at the start of their course. So SUSI applications come up again towards the end of the year. If you are applying to SUSI for funding for yourself or a child or dependent, there is a form on the SUSI website that you will need to fill in and then send to me so that I can forward it to head office for completion. Please do this during the college year. It can be very complicated to do this over the summer when I am on holidays. Okay, and the last page, this is the end of the very long document. Contacts. So Karen Hurley is my name again, VTOS coordinator in SCFE. The telephone number for the college is 012852997. If you then dial 207 immediately afterwards, it should get you through directly to my office. My email is karynhurley@scfe.ie. And then just general information about how to catch me. My office is at the end of the building next door to the guidance counsellor's office. This is on the short corridor to the back door close to room 18. I'm available in the office generally by appointment only. Please remember that this year I'm working a 3-day week. So Mondays, I'm available for meetings in person or on Teams by prior arrangement, or phone calls from 10 to 1 and from 2 to 4. Tuesday, I'm teaching from 9 to 4. I could meet you between 4 and 5 if I'm staying late in the college, which I typically do. Thursday, I'm teaching 9 to 4. I could meet you in the college between 4 and 5. I tend to stay until 4 to 5, but occasionally I may need to leave early. So Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm not in the building. So often, just keep in mind, if you drop in on a Monday, often I will be at the photocopier or in meetings. My office will be occupied by one of the guidance counsellors on a Wednesday. The best way to contact me is by email, as I can pick these up outside of college hours. You can call and catch me by telephone and leave a message, but this is not a great idea, however, as I'm hardly in the office and may not pick up your message for a number of days. If you need to have a form stamped or completed, please post it into the VTOS post box outside my office, but then email me to let me know, as otherwise I might miss it. Otherwise, you can drop it into reception and they will leave it in my post box. I will mainly contact you by email. As I have established email contact As I have established email contact with you via your personal email, I will continue to use that, although I may also use your Microsoft College email addresses at times also. Please check your email regularly and ensure that I have your correct email address. If something is really urgent, I will call you, so please ensure to have a messaging service set up. So on Teams, there is an SCFE All Students Resources and Information team, and this document will be available on the All Students Resources and Information team so that you can access it when you have questions. Please remember to refer to this document, particularly early in 2023 when you may be planning to progress to further study. Finally, good luck in your studies, and I hope that you enjoy your time in Sallynoggan College, and I hope to see you up and down the corridors and in the college as we go through the year. Again, if you've got any questions, please email me, and there should be paper versions of this form available in the college, or I may give copies to your coordinators. Thanks for listening. Bye.